Hi everyone, welcome to Friday's show, Setting the Record Straight. I got a lot of emails, probably because of the holidays, asking me about karma and whether we have to be friends with our family or associate with our family at all. And the answer to that is no. Yes, sometimes we have things we've come to learn from each other. Sometimes some of us get on the wrong path, and when that happens, all you can do is wait for that person to get back on the path. And sometimes that's never. They never do. But all you can do is just be you. And a couple of people wrote in saying that they didn't have the best Christmas because, they felt they obligated to be with family members. One woman, Mary, wrote in and she said, this last holiday was not what I expected. Although I should have, because it was just like all the other ones. And what I really would have liked to have done was go skiing instead of spend it with my family. Do we really have to spend holidays with our family? You don't. You can spend any time of year with your family when you feel you need to spend time with your family. And sometimes family members don't get along. We all have our own issues, and sometimes they intersect, and sometimes it's better to not cause strife. And if to not cause strife means to not spend December 25th in the same room with everyone else, then you don't really have to. But you have to give yourself permission. We feel obligated because this is what we're taught. We're taught family's important and we should always be there for family, and that's true. But nobody says you have to be with your family every December. You can choose to be with them in July when they're nicer people. Or, there are many people who don't associate with their family because they're either not nice, or they have different morals, or they see the world differently. And you don't have to go there. You don't. You need to respect them. You need to tell them you're not coming. And you can be truthful and explain why. I'm sure they would already know why, but no one says it. So, karmically, we come with lessons, we come with things to do, we come with people to help, things to get through. But we don't always have to learn it through our families. There are so many people in this world who grew up in horrible, horrible environments and left that. They left that to make a better life, and they don't associate with that. And I'm talking about people who grew up, around gangs and with alcoholic and drug-induced parents, and they left that, and they didn't look back, and they made something of themselves. So you don't have to feel obligated. You need to be grateful that that family brought you into the world so that you could live the life you're living. And always say a prayer for them. There are people I don't get along with anymore. I grow constantly, and I have a lot of friends and family members who don't grow. They stay with their feet in the mud. They don't want to see the goodness in the world. And so we don't have to get along. We don't have to have that social interaction. But God forbid any of my family members or friends called me, I would of course be there for them. And I would hope that they would be there for me, because I respect them enough to just let them go and live their life and be who they are meant to be. So you shouldn't struggle through the holidays. You shouldn't struggle through anything in your life. You need to deal with your family now, so that come next December 24th, you're not going, should I or shouldn't I? You'll know long before then, and you'll have already scheduled something, or you've already planned something, or your family will have already planned something without you. Or maybe you'll work it out, and by this time next year, you'll have a different relationship. That's of course what we hope for, but that's not always what we get. But you have to just deal with what you've been dealt and Figure out the best solution for you. But do not suffer. Do not put yourself in a frustrating position where you're hating Christmas every year. That's not what God intended for you in this life. He intended for you to be happy and healthy and with the people you love and get along with. Another question I actually got several questions on Buddhism, and I have to say I am totally not the person to ask about Buddhism. I am a learner myself. I follow the Mahayana sect of Buddhism, and there are 4 or 5, I believe. But one question that I got a lot from all of those people was, what is mindfulness? Apparently I mentioned it once or twice in some of my video blogs. And mindfulness is being thoughtful and thinking about what you're doing at the moment you're doing it. In our society, the way we're brought up is we're brought up to believe that, you're always thinking about tomorrow. You're always worried about tomorrow. You're always, oh my God, that bill's due 2 weeks from now. Well, hello, that's 2 weeks from now. You need to have your thoughts in today. What's important today? What's important at this moment? When you're cooking dinner, pay attention to cooking dinner. Be thoughtful of cooking your dinner. Enjoy cooking your dinner. When you're walking the dog, same thing. Pay attention to the dog. It's not about you. It's not your walk. It's the dog's walk. Be mindful of the dog. When you're doing something, anything when you're doing something for someone else, be mindful of what you're doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. That's what mindfulness is. And by doing that, by being focused on what you're doing at the moment, you're kind of giving it to God. You're saying, okay, you gave me this, I'm going to just focus on this. And what happens when you get mindful is you have a flow. There's a flow to your life. Things just happen. Things just happen smoothly. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. I think everyone should be mindful. We're not always. Even the most mindful people are not mindful all the time. But to try to just try to be better, to try to focus on one thing at a time, I think that could make us all better. And I think that's it for today. So have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you Monday. Ciao.